Things are being thrown. There's no room for this in the sport. There's no room for the Davis brothers to be in the building tonight. The police escorted them out. You saw a stroller being...
His jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting. The
hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that.
When Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis meet in person before their fight, things get tense behind the scenes. Lamont doesn't care about what Gervonta says outside the ring. He keeps his mind on the fight because he is sure he will win and thinks that what he does in the ring will speak louder than anything else.
The outside critics, I know what I could do in the ring, and that's the only thing that matters, honestly, is that I go out, give it my all, and perform, and most likely, 9 times out of 10 when I do that, I'll be victorious.
People have laughed off the idea that Gervonta Davis is the toughest opponent Lamont Roach has ever had to deal with. Roach says that Davis's strength doesn't scare him because he has lost fights to stronger opponents before. His calm demeanor shows that he has a strong mind based on experience and determination, which proves that his image alone won't get him down.
I think the hardest punch I ever faced. No. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Okendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard man.
Davis briefly slipped up during their first game, which made him take a knee. This caused a lot of controversy right away and changed how people felt about the game. Roach's image got better when he was seen as the first person to really test Davis during that incident. Since then, the story has made it seem more likely that Roach will win the second fight, since he is seen as a real threat.
Tank did that, so I know the got in his eye, but they should have countered it. They would have countered it, it would have went to Lamont Roach. What I didn't like about Tank, he was gassing up Lamont Roach way too much, and he was already talking about like retiring.
He did a little distracted, didn't he, in the fight?
That wasn't the same Gervonta Davis we're really used to seeing.
It just lets you know how corrupt like the governing bodies are, bro. If that dude took a knee, not only did he take a knee, he's like, hold on real quick. Let me get this out of my eye. How is that not a point? Like,
you know, funny thing, bro, that's why I cut my braids off. I had braids and I had the same thing. I went through the same when I fought Andre. That burning my eyes, so I cut that off.
Davis looks different in new vids that show him to be a more focused and fit athlete. He is working harder and thinking about being in charge, as shown by the fact that he is getting stronger and making a confident comment online. Fans are excited and expecting a strong return to the ring. Davis's explosive fighting style got high marks from Roy Jones Jr., who emphasized how he can beat opponents with a mix of skill and force. Jones said that the fight was still a surprise, but he is still sure that Davis's presence in the ring will be too much for Tank to handle, and that Tank will once again establish his dominance.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach, but we kind of haven't seen him a lot. So he gets to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers, amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first 2 rounds. But when they're in the pro round takeover, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet? Or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in. You got a good back foot game like that, and you understand boxing like he understands it, he gonna make it rough for anybody. But, you know, Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he gonna win, oh, he gonna...
Davis didn't do well in the first fight, according to many, because he had a bad game plan or was distracted by other things. Now that Davis's pride is at stake, he seems determined to show what he can do. It seems like this fight is about more than just getting even based on what he said, how he acts, and how he trains. It's about ending all question and making him the leader again.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means, and that means being more active in the early rounds, you know, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. You know, the left hands, the combinations, the body shots, That's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. You know, most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. You know, I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Roach wants more from the second match than just to win. He wants to get knocked out. His constant training shows that he wants to make a good impact. He might become one of the best boxers and leave a reputation based on skill and determination if he wins big against Davis.
So that you sent him to retirement earlier.
My initial plan is to win, but every time I fight, I'm trying to knock somebody out. So, so you know, if that happens in the midst of it, you know, that'd be a blessing. That'd be definitely something that I work for, because I work my ass off. But if he on his way out, well, why not kick his ass out? It does in a sense, but yeah, it do for sure. I ain't gonna lie. I like to prove people wrong, and I damn sure like to prove myself right. So yeah, it definitely gives me an incentive. And like I said before, I've been before. The Hector fight, they had me duck. Right now, they really got me. They really got me.
Roach has said in public that he thinks he is ready for battle and that he has all the skills needed. His words show confidence that comes from working hard and training, not arrogance. He believes he is fully equipped to handle any situation Gervonta Davis may bring to the ring.
Beat 30 people, knocked out, 28 of them, right? What makes you different?
He probably can't answer that question. He probably can't answer that question. But it's the skill, the will. I got the whole package, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not sitting there waiting to get hit by nobody, especially somebody that's supposed to be a power puncher. That's evidently a power puncher. I got too much.
Greg Hackett said it was very important for both teams. He believes that the outcome will depend on exact accuracy and that neither fighter has a clear edge. Hackett warned that Davis needs to be especially focused and controlled all the time. You can't make a mistake.
Rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, you know, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't there that night. Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking the knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused Tank Davis. Because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night. And you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for. And he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Who you picking to win?
Mikey Garcia gave an insightful point of view, noting Davis's ability to adapt and learn from experience. He did stress, though, that even the best plans can't work if you can't think clearly. Garcia's message was easy to understand. Davis should not fight if he is not mentally ready.
And hopefully, I'd like to see it.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, I'm surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows? Maybe
it turns the Marcus Pacquiao.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think
the edge.
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. And if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it, well, fuck, let him do it. I don't know. Dude.
Kenny Ellis told Roach not to put too much stock in training videos, even though he respected Roach's hard work. He said that the real test is how a boxer reacts when they are under a lot of stress, when they are hitting, and when they are tired. Ellis thinks that Davis's persistence and drive are more important than the methods he has practiced.
To be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight. Shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his like mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that?
In the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
But it seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him fucking do it, well, fuck, let him do it. I don't know. Dude, I had personal stuff. A lot of fighters have life issues. It's life, bro. This is our job, but their life keeps going. Life continues.
You have to juggle this with life.
You have to juggle. You have to balance, and it's tough, bro. It ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. You gotta be dealing with family, with kids, with wives, with girlfriends.
You know what's crazy that I always see the same stories.
If Gervonta Davis loses a second time, it will be very bad for her job and reputation. One loss could be seen as a bad night, but 2 losses in a big rematch would likely make people question his position as one of the best boxers for a long time. Fans and experts may begin to question whether Davis really belongs in the top flight. It's his pride, his image, and his future. Plans that are at risk. Davis wants to make things right in this return, but it's not just that. The goal is to keep his memory alive. He needs to put on a strong showing to show those who don't like him that he is still one of the best in the sport.
Oh, is the rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the tournament on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight, I'm not going to lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half, so what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? Just really had your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision of the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely get off of just a personal opinion of the person, a history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank, if I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. You know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's to flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. And I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch this.
Ellis has hinted at changes going on behind the scenes in Davis's camp that could mean a big change in tactics. The lack of information has only made people more excited. Davis's team is sure that whatever is being talked about behind closed doors will have a big effect on the outcome. This rematch is currently one of the most awaited fights in boxing.
What do you see?
Both of them, like I said, they both at, top of the game. I see a competitive fight. Nice, clean, crispy shots, like the first fight,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
Legends can have bad shows too. Rolly Romero made a case for Davis. He insisted that Davis's whole body of work shouldn't be forgotten because of one bad showing. Romero thinks Davis is still the busiest person in the sport and one of the most feared opponents.
That people want to discredit Tank, he's still a pound-for-pound fighter.
Yeah. What do you think about that fight that happened? You thought it was just an off night, or?
Everybody has an off night. Everybody has an off night. Shit, I had a night with Cruz. Everyone has a night. It's boxing.
You want to run that back with Cruz or what?
Maybe down the line.
Teofimo Lopez said that Gervonta Davis seemed to be by himself during the first fight, with not many people standing by him as he was criticized. Lopez said that Davis's reputation among the best boxers became less trustworthy after this betrayal. His skills and courage were quickly called into question by critics, who saw him as weak. Lopez stressed that the upcoming repeat is more than just a fight. Now Davis has the chance to change what's going on, get back the respect he lost, and take back his power. Davis needs to use this as an opportunity to show that in the cruel world of boxing, one bad performance does not define a champion's legacy. His image is at stake.
I know a lot of people, look what they did with Gervonta too. I want everybody, all these young fighters that are listening to this, and you could clip this. It's a short part right here.
I got you.
To Ryan could clip this right here. To all you young fighters, look at the amount of love they were giving and sharing to Gervonta Tank Davis prior to the fight. Look at what all the reporters were doing prior to the fight. Look how they were all laughing at all his jokes prior to his fight against Lamont Roach. After the fight, look how many were waiting to down this man. Down him. See, I'm gonna talk my smack with Tank, but that's because I want to fight him. That's me. I can say that. But I just want all you young fighters to really look about it. They don't care about us.
Yeah.
They won't ever care about us. When you winning, they gonna be there. But they waiting for any moment to slip up. Just a man, even a draw. Look how much hate he got out of it.
Yeah, not to get deep, but it's a part of our psychology. We have to learn how to care about other people. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter said that Gervonta Davis was smart and skilled, calling out his raw power and high boxing IQ. Porter said that Davis is different from many other lightweight boxers because he can study his opponents and make changes in the ring. Porter says that Davis is still a very good player who is recognized, even though he has been criticized recently. He warned them that firing Davis would be a bad idea because he had always done great work in the past. According to Porter, Davis is a tough opponent for anyone because he is strong and smart. He's not done yet, and his influence on the division is still felt.
And the thing that I really appreciate about Tank is he's a dog. That kind of what he just said, you can put them earmuffs up and go at it. He kind of will assess you as well, and whatever he needs to do, he'll do it. So
Gervonta Davis is fully determined and working harder than ever to show that he still deserves to be at the top. He trains hard to fix the problems from the first fight by getting faster, stronger, and smarter about how to fight. He wants to do more than just win. He wants to be in charge and get rid of all doubt. Davis knows that from now on, everything he does will affect how people see him. Every training practice shows that he wants to ignore the negative comments, beat his opponent, and show everyone that he is still one of the best and most skilled fighters in the sport.
Everybody
really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident because you gonna go up against a different Tank. Like I told y'all in previous videos, he go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off. I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's gonna get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. Confident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont, this from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you gotta think, Tank not used to losing.
Video for today is now over. Watch out. Until the next time.